About it, and we need to look forward to it because he said a lot of things that really made me happy as a fan, that he's actually caring about this franchise more than Warner Brothers does, and that's saying something. So let's get to it. But this is what he had to say. I think we nailed it. Slater says when explaining the tone he considered for the sequel, the writer appealed to his past as a fan of the martial arts video game franchise and compared his participation to putting a quarter in the arcade machine and starting a new game. It's a tremendous honor and incredibly cool. It was one of those days when you are just pinching yourself. Wow, I just had a full conversation with Liu Kang in his warrior robe, excuse me. Then you watch him walk around and beat the brakes out of people with crazy movesets you have never seen. And this one talks about the SAG strike, of how much it really affected 2 years ago when everything was shut down in Hollywood. And thankfully all of that crap was over, and now we're looking forward to more projects coming out in the future. I am so excited for people to see this movie. It's been done for a while. We've been waiting for the right release date and waiting for the right window. I have been to those test screenings, which are full of Mortal Kombat fans, and watching them react to it in a way I react to the Avengers Endgame. Then they were cheering and jumping out of their seats. Every joke is landing and they are loving it. It's one of those greatest moments in my life. That's why you get in the business the right way, and I like that part. They had the best stunt team in the business working on this thing. The actors are phenomenal. It's so much funnier and bigger than the first one. And that's really where it goes. Where is that though? Because if the first movie does okay, then the sequel really jumps off. It really crashes out the best way possible with the writing and the action. I mean, the first Evil Dead movie was really good because it's the one that introduces the dead eyes and being possessed by the evil spirits. When you read the book out loud and you play the audio, which awakens the evil spirits in the woods, that causes people to crash out and becomes possessed. And it's one of those movies that was done right, but even though it was done on a smaller budget, but they made it work somehow. And then the sequel happened, it made it 10 times better, led to the franchise Army of Darkness and the Evil Dead 2013 reboot and Ash versus the Evil Dead franchise. And if it wasn't for the sequel, we wouldn't have a franchise like that right now. And imagine how Mortal Kombat 2 is going to end up becoming. If the sequel is better than the first one, then you got yourself a franchise. And I wouldn't be surprised if they announce a TV show based on maybe Scorpion, Sub-Zero, or even like a new character like Reptile. Then it would be one of those TV shows that a lot of Mortal Kombat fans want to watch. The previous movie promised there was the tournament coming and that Johnny Cage was going to be a part of the story somehow. Those were the two things we knew we had to work with and around. I was admitting that we had to have this tournament in the movie. We can't just make people wait another movie and be like, come back to the finale. It was finding a structure to make the tournament as satisfying as you wanted to be. This had years of build up. A lot of Kung Fu movies and martial arts tournaments movies, a lot of it is sitting around waiting, then there's a big fight scene, and then you come back, and then there's a big fight scene, and then you come back to sit around waiting. It's killing time between stages, and I was a very cognizant of that we had to be just telling a story of the margins were there. It's just as much exciting stuff happening outside of the tournament as inside of the tournament. It's a cast of 20 people. It is very easy for these things to become 3 to 4 hour sprawling epics. So you always have to be judicious in cutting things down. And what's the emotional story we are telling? And what is the story the audiences care about? Then making sure when you get to those moments that matter, the fights, the fatalities, the surprises, the deaths, that they land and they are just as satisfying as everyone wants them to be. Excuse me, and I agree. And that's the part I like about this as well, because if you make a video game movie that does not have a tournament, then people are not going to want to tune into your projects yet again. The first movie tried that, even though it was more based on a prequel, but when people don't realize that in every Mortal Kombat incarnation, it doesn't always have to have a tournament. It's based on adventures, like Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, for example. It focuses on Liu Kang and Kung Lao. But to me, this sequel screams potential, and I believe this movie is going to end up surprising a lot of people in the best way possible. He said it, fatalities, telling an emotional story, and what's funnier and what's sad and what's emotional, and what is the best way to write these epic characters. We got characters that were missing from the first movie: Katana, Johnny Cage, King Jarrett, Sindel. Who else? I think there's more characters that I remember bringing it down, but at some point, this movie is gonna shake a lot of people's minds. What the first movie lacked, and I think it's gonna surprise a lot of people, and I'm here for it. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to 2025. October 2025. And also, one thing I want to mention is when I saw Todd Garner's tweet last night, and he mentioned something about not having his film compete with other franchises, because that'll be a big no-no, and people are not going to want to care about Mortal Kombat 2. And I think it goes to show you that if you become an independent franchise that is not around other franchises, then you got yourself a $1 million franchise. Like, look at what happened to the 2017 Power Rangers movie when it competed with Beauty and the Beast and it failed miserably. You should never compete a Disney franchise that is known from around the world. And the 2017 Power Rangers film should have been an independent franchise, even though the movie had a lot of problems with it when people don't realize. But I think if Mortal Kombat 2 is going to end up being an independent franchise, compete in its own time without other franchises try to dethrone us when it makes its money in the box office, then yeah, this franchise is finna cook. And yeah, I'm here for it. So what are your thoughts on this, man? Link to the article will be down below. I'm out of here.